What if I told you that the moment you were born, you entered this world in the exact same state as the wealthiest, most powerful person on the planet? Sounds unbelievable, right? But according to the ancient wisdom of Freemasonry, this is the absolute truth. In Freemasonry, when we enter the lodge for the very first time, symbolically we're stripped of all of our worldly possessions and status. This profound act serves as a powerful reminder that at our core we're all equal, and our true worth lies not in what we own or what we know, but in the content of our character and the impact we have on others. The phrase from our ceremonies, "Your admission into Freemasonry, symbolically in a state of helplessness and indigence," was emblematical of the representation of the entrance of all men upon this, their mortal state. And it holds the key to understanding this deeply symbolical act. But what does it really mean to us in our daily lives? And how can this ancient wisdom challenge the way society tells us to value ourselves and others? Well, if we dive into the heart of this allegory, we'll uncover some profound truths about the nature of true worth and character that can transform the way that you see yourself and you see the world around you. So if you're ready to question the status quo and discover a path to real lasting fulfillment, stick around, because what you're about to learn might just change everything. Picture this. A man ready to embark on a life-changing journey stands at the threshold of the lodge. And as he takes his first steps into our world, he's about to experience something profound, something that will forever change the way he sees himself and sees the world around him. You see, for this moment, admission into Freemasonry isn't just about joining a fraternity. It is a symbolic rebirth, a powerful reminder of the very first moments of our lives. And just like a newborn entering the world, the candidate is standing before his soon-to-be brothers in a state of complete vulnerability and dependence. And that's the key, isn't it? In that moment, the candidate being no different from any other human being who has ever lived, no matter how much wealth, power, or influence we may accumulate in our lives. We all started out the same way, helpless and naked, relying on others for our very survival. It's a humbling realization, isn't it? And it's a realization that strikes at the very core of what it means to be human. You see, this Masonic teaching emphasizes this very one and essential truth. We're all born equal. And we're all subject to the same mortal condition because in the eyes of the great architect of the universe, whether you're a king or a pauper, you are one and the same. But society likes to tell us a different story, doesn't it? You see, society likes to tell us that our value and how we should value others is based upon external factors like money, status, and material possessions. And it conditions us to believe that these things are what define us, that they're the measure of our worth as human beings. Now, the experience of Freemasonry, on the other hand, challenges these notions head on. You see, by leaving behind all external trappings, it forces us to confront the idea that true value lies in not what we own or where we stand in society, but who we are inside. It's a powerful lesson in humility, one that reminds us to look beyond the superficial and focus on what really matters. And look, it's a trap that's all too easy to fall into, isn't it? We live in a world that constantly bombards us with messages about what success looks like and what we should be striving for. And more often than not, those messages revolve around the material wealth and social status. We're told that if we just work hard enough, we'll acquire enough stuff and then we'll finally be happy, we'll be filled, and we'll be respected by others. But the ancient wisdom of Freemasonry challenges this at its very core. The craft is sending a powerful message that these external factors are not what defines a person's true value. Think about it. When we leave behind the trappings of wealth, status, what's left? Our character, our inner virtues, the very essence of who we are as human beings. And that's what Freemasonry is emphasizing as the true measure of a person's worth. It's a lesson in humility, and one that reminds us not to get caught up in the endless pursuit of material gain and societal validation, because at the end of the day, they're all fleeting. They can be taken away in an instant, leaving us empty and unfulfilled. But the inner virtues of who we are, that's what Freemasonry holds dear. Integrity, wisdom, compassion. Those are the things that endure. Those are the qualities that make a real difference in the world. And they're the real qualities that leave a lasting impact on the lives of others. And the beautiful thing is this: anyone can cultivate these virtues regardless of their station in life. You don't need wealth or status to be a person of integrity, to show compassion to others, to seek wisdom and understanding. These are qualities that are available to all of us. We're just willing to put in the work and develop them. So the next time you find yourself getting caught up in the rat race, chasing after that next promotion, the bigger house, the nicer car, take a step back and remember the lessons of the Masonic initiation. Remember that your true worth lies in not what you have, but in who you are. Remember, it's the content of your character, the impact you have on others, that will define the legacy you leave in this world. But this realization about the fleeting nature of wealth and status isn't just about personal fulfillment. It's got profound implications for how we relate to others and how we build more than just a compassionate society. You see, when we recognize that we all enter and lead this world in the same state of vulnerability, it has the power to break down the very barriers that divide us, and those are the barriers that society is seeking to place in between each and every one of us. Let that sink in. You see, when we truly understand that we all share the same fundamental human experience, that we all enter this world with nothing and leave the same way, it has the power to break down these very walls that separate us. It is a realization that can foster a deep sense of empathy and compassion for our fellow human beings, no matter who they are or where they come from. So when you see someone struggling, when you see someone who's hit rock bottom, it's easy to pass judgment and think, hey, that could never be me. But the truth is, it could absolutely be any one of us. We're all just one turn of fortune's wheel away from finding ourselves in the very same position. And that's where this lesson comes in. By symbolically experiencing that state of helplessness and vulnerability, we're reminded of our own fragility. We're reminded at our core, we're all the same. And when we internalize that truth, it becomes so much easier to extend a helping hand, to show kindness and understanding to those who are struggling. Can you imagine a world where everyone truly embraces this principle? A world where we looked beyond the superficial differences that divide us and recognize inherent dignity and the worth of every human being? A world where we treat each other with compassion, where we lift each other up instead of tearing each other down. And that's the kind of world Freemasonry points us towards. It starts with each of us as individuals in our everyday interactions. It starts with choosing to see humanity in others, even when it's difficult. It's with extending empathy and understanding even to those who are different from us. Because the beautiful thing is, when we do that, it will have a ripple effect. It could be one small act of kindness, one moment of connection that can change someone's entire day and maybe their entire. And those ripples, they spread. And they have the power to transform entire communities, even societies in the world. So next time, when you find yourself in a position to make a difference in someone's life, remember the lesson of the Masonic initiation. Remember that we're all in this together, that we all share the same hopes and fears and vulnerabilities. And let that knowledge guide you to act with compassion, with empathy, and be the kind of love and that can truly change the world. It starts with you. It starts with the choices you make. Will you continue to get caught up in this materialism or build a life of purpose? Will you judge others superficially or seek to understand their struggles? This is a challenging path because our true worth lies in who we are and the good that we bring.
This has been the Daily Masonic Progress Podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you follow us on Spotify or subscribe on Apple Podcasts. The Daily Masonic Progress Podcast is available on all streaming platforms with new episodes every week.